Well now, good day everyone, and welcome to my back step. And I am actually on my back step today, yay! It's been a minute since I've been out here for sure. I got a nice long cord for my new camera, so I don't need to worry about my battery dying. I'm going to plug it in now. There we go. Why am I plugging it in now? It's fully charged. But when I go to, forgive the shaking guys, I'm just trying to put this cord in a bit. There we go. So that when I go to pour my metal in that, I can actually pour my metal and not have to worry about keeping it plugged in. I can move over so you guys can see things a little bit better. I've got my wings on. And I have a lot of copper. I still have this whole container full of copper. Plus I bring up the ones that I had down in my workroom. And I bring this plate to lay stuff on. Now, I do need to get the stove going because it's cold, and a lot of my stuff is frozen up, that's fine. I don't care about that. But the place where I was putting my molds and everything is got water all over it, so that's no good. I can't pour metal on water. That causes big problems. Anyway, I know better than that. So I am going to start setting up and get some wood split. I do have a new splitter to try and see if it works. I didn't bring my axe or anything, so I'm hoping that this works and I don't have to go back in and get the axe. But just be a couple of minutes. I'm going to set this stuff up, stuff the crucible, get the stove turned on, then light my fire because the stove can start heating stuff. Furnace can start heating while I am getting my other stuff done. So yeah. I got a small crucible here. I can't remember what I did in that last. Messy. This one's wet. This got to be dry out. So it's going to stay on the stove. Okay, I'm going to stuff that. And that's about all that's going in there for the moment. Get some of these smaller ones stuffed in there. Temperature's already set, so I just had to turn it on. Now let's see about the wood stove. Okay, so here's what I got for my wood processing for today. It's one of these things, and you're supposed to screw it into the wood, not supposed to split it. Comes with a couple of different shanks for putting it on different tools, but I think I've already got it set up for the drill. Yeah, that'll go in our drill. So that'll go in here. Take this out. Let's not lose that. I'm going to need that. And this goes in. I've never tried these things before, so we'll see how this goes. Alrighty, let's see how this works. Oh. It drilled in alright. Let's try it this way. No. Now it's stuck. So the survey says this thing is good in theory, but it's not good in practice. Luckily, I have enough small wood that I can light my fire anyway. Look at this, that's stuck in the wood now. There we go. So it drilled in, but it drilled in like a screw and it just stuck in there. So I don't know if I'm doing something wrong with it, or if it's just, you know, it's just, it is what it is. It's not going to work. I might have to go in and get my axe. I should have enough little stuff here to get it going. Get the fire going though. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know if this stuff is going to catch okay. Oh, I got my shovel. I can use this to split some of this down. This has an axe edge on it. There's also a knife in this. Let me use a knife. Everything is falling on me. These are pretty solid in the meantime. But it's still, that thing should be able to should have been able to chop them down. From what I watched online, you're supposed to be able to do like full logs with them. Oh, that one went in the thing of water. You're supposed to be able to do full logs with that thing. It's just supposed to twist down through it. Like screwing a screw in. If anybody can give me a suggestion on how to do it differently, where it will work, I'm all ears. Because I'm not above getting suggestions on my next step. Yeah, let's see if we can get this going now. My high-tech tinder bundle. My high-tech fire steel. The flue is opened. Let's see if he lights. Or do I gotta do some more stuff for it? I've got a few skinny pieces while I'm waiting. Well, that's maple. That's gonna be. Hey, I'm gonna work on this, guys. Get the fire going. Alrighty, guys. I got the stove going. The only problem is it's sucking all the furnace stuff towards me because of the heat generation. So I didn't need a knife after. I gotta get a little ventilation going. Easy enough. I'm gonna open the door for a few minutes. More. Actually had to close the door a little. Up this one. The way the wind is blowing. is pushing the smoke in through the crack that I had left in the door. That's what was pushing it all towards me. If you look at the steam coming out of that. It's a good thing I didn't put that in the furnace. The stuff that's coming out of the furnace now is just the dirty stuff burning off of the wire. Alright, I'm going to prepare some stuff now to put in the furnace. I'm going to get another few pieces of this put in the stove first, just to keep that going good. Just rounds. Oh yeah. That's burning good now. And close the flue just a little so it doesn't burn up my wood so quick. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, smother it out too. Alrighty, I'm gonna use the same setup. I just took that big piece that I bring out and put that over to lay my crucible on so it doesn't get wet. That'll cause problems. My little bowl was full of water, so I got that on the stove to dry out too. It's burning good. Close the door in there a little bit. Try to get some of the heat to build up. It's not even 5 degrees in here yet, so I want it to get warmer than that, obviously. But I'm going to get some of this copper cut down so I can start poking it in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these big, long, heavy ones and I'm just going to start snipping them so they fit. And these ones here. And they are a bit dirty too, but oh no, look at that. Oh, there's a little stuff. Copper everywhere. The worst with that hairy stuff. I'm going to cut them in there. The reason I'm cutting these down this small is because I've already got copper in there, and it's going to take some space to get this in. So these ones I'm going to cut small. The next ones I'll just measure the height. I think I can cut them in half. Yeah. And I'm putting in the next full one. I do these more than one at a time. Alrighty, I got a lot of this separated into the way I want it. Camera's not camera's not cooperating, guys. There we go. I got this with the finer stuff in. There's some fine stuff down in this, that's the cut. And this one here, I've got the bigger stuff in that I'm not even too concerned if this gets done today. I'd like to get rid of some of this finer stuff though, because I'm going to have a lot more of that than I am the regular stuff. Also, I still got that, which I haven't gone through. That stuff is really messy when it's done. So we'll see how much we can get through in this today. I'm at almost 1700 degrees on my furnace. My bowl is dry, so that can come off. There. All dried up. Good. Anyway. I'll leave it there. My other crucible is still drying out. You can see it's, I don't know if you can see it on the camera now, but it's about halfway up, it's still wet. So I'm just going to leave that and let that continue to dry. Probably take that in the house today so it doesn't get wet like that again. But something I've been looking at too, guys, is I looked up some stuff on how to cast with metal. And there's a few different ways to do it. You can use what's called green sand, which is sand that sticks together, and you put your mold in and you take it apart and do separate things. There's another way to do it too with styrofoam and just sand, dry sand, which that's the one I'm going to try to do first and see how things start coming out. I have a couple of ideas in mind for it. I do have some stuff to get for it, but you know how it is. I'll get it when I get it, which will probably be pretty soon. Because all I really need to get is the sand. I have some styrofoam kicking around the house that I can try a couple of little things out of. But the sand is the big thing that I need, and that will come probably in a few days. So if I get that in a few days, if the weather is good enough, because it's hard doing this out in the cold with this furnace. It doesn't like the cold, guys. This thing doesn't. That's one of the reasons. One of the other reasons why I like the stove, and I'm still on just like that 6 degrees Celsius in here now, which is 41. It's not warm. My toes are getting cold. I'm probably gonna seal the back door up again and try to build up another bit of heat in here, because I think I got enough ventilation going with the holes that's in the top of that. There we go. That should suck the fumes out that I'm getting. It's just some, every now and again when I add a little bit to the furnace, I get some of that smelly, you know, the varnish burning off of the wires. That's why I'm using mostly the clean stuff today and not the dirty stuff. So to cut down on that while I'm sealed up in here. But all that being said, I just got to get some of this stuff out of my way right now, and I'm going to try splitting a couple of those chunks so I can get them put in. So that's what these look. There's water on my table too. Water came in everywhere in here this time, guys. I don't know. Time for a new roof, I think. These ones are definitely going to need the axe to split. They are not breaking for me at all. The wire is rusting up out here. Everything is rusting up out here. Everything. All this wire that I had hung up. That stuff. My saw is starting to rust up. This is why I don't leave my furnace and that out here. I'm going to get this stuff out of the way now because I'm going to poke one of these big ones in. Then get them burning. They should still burn, even though they're a bit chunky. This is the smaller one of them. Actually, this is Put this one in. Let's put that one over. There we go. That's in. As I get some of this stuff cleared out of the way so I can get back and forth relatively easy without tripping over everything. Because that's something I normally do all the time out here, is I trip over my own feet. I'm going to put this back in. This way I don't lose it. Knowing my luck, I would. And I'm going to hang that there for now. Get my wires out of the way. Sort of. Maybe. Maybe not. Still only at 1800 degrees, so let's give it another bit of time. Well guys, I'm still waiting on that first little bit of copper to melt. It's been an hour. The stove is not, the furnace is not great in winter time. When I first got it, it was a little bit warmer out. I didn't have to light my stove or nothing. It was relatively warm. It was 10-15 degrees and it was working perfectly. I'm at about 1915 right now for temperature, which is getting close to the melting of the copper, but it's taken a lot longer for the stove to get up to temperature in the cold than it is when it's warm out. And that's a given because the temperature's cold, so it's harder for the stove, the furnace, to keep that temperature rising. I'm still not even at 10 degrees Celsius in here with the stove going. That'll give you an idea of the temperature outside. It is cold, so this melt might be the last melt until it starts warming up. Then I'll start working on some more melts. But that being said, I have lots to scrap. I have a lot of wire that needs to be stripped off. I have a lot of I still have items that I need to break down. So that's going to be something too. Now, depending on how long this takes. Now, the other thing too is I can come out with some aluminum and do aluminum melting. So I may do it. One of those, especially if I want to do some casting. I'd rather cast out of the aluminum first and see how it goes, rather than, pouring an item out of bronze and then not being able to melt it back down again because it's too big for me to do anything with. But aluminum is not so bad because if it kind of messes up, it's aluminum. I can beat it with a hammer or something, break it up, and it'll be easy enough to deal with. All that being said, I do want to get some of this copper melted today. I'm at 1923 right now, so it's going up. 19, 80, 85, 90, that's the melting point of copper. It needs to be a little higher than that for a good melt and a good pour, so I've got it set to 2082, so we can get up to the 2000 mark. That'll be good. And it should be starting to turn the liquid in there now. And if that's the case, I could probably start adding some of the smaller stuff that I got picked out there. We'll give it another few minutes and then we'll see what goes on with it. Alrighty, so that liquefied, which is what I was waiting on. Drop that. Woo! Drop that one in there. Let that one do. That's some small. Ooh, look at the fire going. That's some small stuff, so that should. You see the fire in my glasses? That should melt down pretty quickly. And now that I've got that little bit of liquid in the bottom, that'll make a big difference. Oh, I'm getting smoked out. That'll make a big difference to how quickly the metal melts. So, there we go. Now it's going out. I will get back with you in a little bit. I'm just going to keep adding some stuff to that and get the crucible filled up. It's getting a little smoky in here, but it's still not too bad. Putting new metal into the furnace dropped the temperature down to 1915, so give it a minute and let it get back up again, then I'll scoop out some of that slag that's in there. It's just a bit of the ash in the copper from, I'm assuming it's from the varnish that's all over it. Yeah, I'll give that a chance to melt down, then I'll scoop it out. I'm just going to have a little wait. Oh, sausages! Them are delicious. The thing with this is in an aluminum can. Now it does have the coating inside, but it can still be melted. Don't waste that liquid. Now do I have something to take them out with? Uh-oh. Let's see what I can find. I got these old chopsticks here that I made. They look a little dirty, but like Homer Simpson said, it's still good, it's still good. I made these on one of my videos a while ago. But they work. Perfectly. I'll get back with you in a little bit, guys. Yeah, let's see if we can get some of the ash out of here. Still not fully liquefied. Feels like there's something. What's that? It's the first I've had it come out like that. It's probably just chunks of copper that didn't melt down. Let's have a look at these. Looks like just big hunks of copper. Here's the ash. Copper stuck to the spoon. I'm going to keep them aside though because they were pretty hard inside of there. I'm pretty sure it's just a big hunk of copper. So it'll probably melt down if I throw it back in, but I don't know if I should or not. Alrighty, that's almost ready for to try pouring it. Try. It's cold. I'll give it another little bit of time, get up a little bit hotter before I take it out of there. But I got enough in the crucible now to at least get one little brick of copper, which is probably more than what I should have expected today. I might try to put another crucible in and see if it'll melt a bit quicker because the furnace is up to a good temperature now. And I'll leave a little bit of liquid in the bottom of the crucible to... We'll see how big the brick is when I pour it. That'll determine whether or not I leave some liquid in the crucible or not. Yeah, so I might get a pound of copper out of this today. Just 1 pound. Where I was hoping to get 3 or 4, maybe more. Cold pouring is not the best, so you live and you learn. Maybe if I had a gas furnace going, it will be a little better. And with a gas furnace in here, I could even open the door and let the stuff out. Maybe I'll switch to gas. Who knows? Gas melts the metal quicker too. When I go on after reading and seeing. It's pretty lopsided. Okay, that's a nice brick. It was lopsided. It's got a bit of weight to it though. So I'm going to lay this here and let it cool off a bit. On my Vienna sausage can. The next one I pour is I'm going to put it on my stove top and pour it. that's too lopsided over there, and it just bounced, and everything is all over the place. I thought there was a little bit of liquid left, so I just threw some more copper in and see how it goes from here. It's heating up a lot quicker now. That ash is definitely the varnish off of this wire. So I'll get a bit done. I got a bit of wood left in the stove to try and burn up anyway, so while that's burning up, I'll do some more of this copper up. Stinky, stinky copper. Yeah. Smoky, smoky copper. I'm going to be basically ash out of my nose for a month. Yep. It's all good. With my wood stove, I can't put those bigger chunks in there. I need to carry out my axe and split them down. They're, it's taking forever for that one to burn up in there. It's not doing much of anything. This is dried right out now, so I'm going to take this off and let it cool. Somewhere to lay it where it's not going to get wet again. And this spoon is just collecting copper on it. I'm going to have to put that in and melt it off. Hit it with a hammer or something, break it up. So, needs a new spoon for scooping out the stuff, because there's a good bit of copper on that, believe it or not. Oh guys, I'll get a couple of pours out of it. Shiny! I forgot how satisfying it was to see the shine coming out on the copper like this. That's heavy. I gotta weigh this one just to see. I know I usually weigh it all afterwards, but I'm too curious to see. It's a little over a pound in that one bar. That's a 1 pound bar of copper right there. If it had been level, we would have been closer to 1.5 pounds or 1.25 pounds. If I had poured it all in and it was level. just being level is not going to make it heavier. That's fantastic though. So let's see now if I can get the rest of that bin melted down. I at least got to get one of them bins melted down. I need to take one back in the house. That one wasn't full anyway, it was just a bunch of leftover stuff. There was still a bit of ash down in the bottom of the crucible too with the liquid that I put in, so it shouldn't really mess with it too much. Temperature staying up around 1950, so that's good because it's enough to keep it liquid in the bottom, which will help melt down stuff a bit quicker. I'd be happier with it at the 2000 mark or even the 1980 mark. But the furnace is having, like I said, is having a tougher time in the cold. And I'm still, I've gone down the temperature in here. I'm actually down to 9 degrees Celsius, so it's not good for it. I'll open the drafter up on the stove because that's mostly just smoldering now because I got those big pieces in there and they're not burning up good. So I'm going to work on that for a little bit, guys, and see if I can get that blazing good. That ain't much work. With the drafter open, it started burning like crazy again. So I'll leave the drafter open and let it burn. My hair is being a pain in the butt today. Ugh. Pain in the butt! Little bits of copper everywhere. Not good, that's money. Actually, just fun. It is money, but it's fun. Marvelous. Well, to save myself some grief, should have been doing this all along. I've been tossing my copper in my stove for a minute to let it burn off. Then all those nasty, smelly stuff from the varnish goes out my flue instead of in my nose. Then as I put them in the furnace, there's no fire, there's no big explosions of black smoke, there's none of that stuff. So as I'm doing the small stuff, I'm hauling out one of these strands of big wire and I'm tying it around the small stuff to keep the small stuff together when I put it in the stove. I got one in there now, so I'll show you what it's like when it comes out. Now, I do have my crucible full and it's almost ready to pour. So I'm probably going to do that first anyway. Before I take that one out of the stove, because I just put it in, so it needs a few minutes to burn. The melting is going much quicker, and without all that smell and everything, it's much more satisfying to do. You live and you learn, right? It's just how things are done here on the steak. And it's not making no difference to anything because it's not all contained in here. It's just going out my flue. And I'm not breathing it in. So it's better for me. And it's no different on anything I was doing because it's still going out into the air. So, yeah. Alrighty. Alrighty, so here's what it comes out like. It's nice, it's clean. It's glowing a little red, but it's not burning. I'm going to try one of these ones next. I'll just wrap the piece of copper around the top of it. And I've done up another one. This one here. It'll fall down there. That's okay. I have another one done. What to do it? There it is. The little hair one. I could have been doing that all along and had most of this already burnt off, so I didn't have to worry about it. But that's it. You live and you learn. Let's check the crucible and see how that's doing. While you're already looking down. Oh yeah, that's all liquid. Feels like there's a bit of action. Oh my, this is what's happening to the spoons. Look, they're collecting the copper on them because they're not heated. That was a mistake on my part, then. I shouldn't have stuck that spoon down in there. Okay, let's get that poured out and see what it's like anyway. That's just adding more to it. Ooh. Hot on the fingers. Now let me show you the difference putting this in. No big fire. Well, that melts. And let's get these in some quenchy water. Not dipping that back in there, I just got the stuff melted off of it. I got them both to melt off, by the way, but I'm not putting it back in there. Well, guys, I've been going along pretty successful with this right now. I got some more stuff to take out of the stove. And I'm going to do one more pour, which is way more than what I thought I was going to get done today. With the furnace being up to temperature, it's just making it so much easier to melt stuff down. Getting the wire back out of the stove is worse than putting it in, for sure. I think I got it all. I should probably be counting them. I don't know what there it is. They're fantastically done off. No matter, of course. One, two, three, four, five. I won't be melting those, but it'll be good to have them done out. That way they're ready to go. These ones that I got done here are probably going to be my final melt today. Let's see. Oh, they're hot, they're hot, they're hot, they're hot. Oh. Those are hot. Let's let that melt. I'll leave those over there to cool off. Because they're hot. I think what I'm going to do with the rest of that small stuff is bring it in the house and just tie it up and have it ready to put in the fire once I get the fire going. It's way better doing it that way than it is just throwing it right in the furnace. I haven't had no smoke coming out of the furnace. The furnace is staying up to good temperature because the metal that's going in is a little bit hot already. And I was able to get those big chunks of copper off of my spoons. I just put them in and left them until they got hot enough that the copper fell off. I'm going to clean up these two bricks while I'm waiting, and I'll get back with you guys in a few minutes. Well guys, this calls it for today. I had my first crucible failure with that. It did not leak out into my furnace, but the sides are gone. So that one's toast. Toast. Now down in here, oh, you can't see it, but there is some graphite down in there. I shut it off. So I'm going to get my molds, let that stuff cool off. Let's see if I can't cool that one off a little bit. It's like it's falling apart like Play-Doh. Oh my. Can't see. Let's just leave it and let it cool for a minute. I guess all this copper is getting done another day. Throw it on the ground. Sure, why not? While my stuff is cooling off a bit now, I'm going to see what, if anything, I can do with this. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Nugget of copper. Let's throw that in there. It's a hefty nugget of copper. Slag on the bottom. Probably put that down into the big one and do the big one next time. Next time. Just for now, I'm just going to leave that in the bowl, in the metal bowl. Leave it in there out of the way. Well, that sums things up for today. Here, I mean, would you? That sums things up for the day. It's copper wire everywhere. But that's okay. Let's see what we got. Over so you can get a look. See. See that? $3.993. Here's my book. A pen don't work? No! I have another. Hopefully this one works. And work out the values or not. Nah. Well, alrighty guys, thank you so much for tuning in for this video. I have everything to bring in and put away. I didn't take you through all the rigors of the pack up, but it's done, it's put away. I'll get a total weight on my copper now one day because that container is getting quite heavy. Maybe next time. As always, be safe, have fun. Thank you all so much for joining. Really appreciate all the views and all of you guys along for this little catastrophic failure on my back step. Be safe and have fun. Catch y'all on the next one.